The HAVENBELL Trilogy, Book 3, EZRAH, written by Allison Hunt, copyright 2011. Chapter 1, ZEPHYR. "Zephyr," Jocelyn whispered down to her lover, who lay sleeping soundlessly on a summer's day. They lay naked beneath a tree. He had soft pale skin and perfect lips. His hair was short and light brown. Underneath his eyelids were eyes as blue as sky. She ran her fingers over his body and grazed her lips softly across his. "We must go," Jocelyn reminded. "No," he moaned, and opened his eyes. He rolled her over and stared lovingly down at her. He smiled his cute grin and kissed her lips softly. Her long brown curls fell around her face. "Jocelyn, I love you." "You're so handsome you can have anyone you please." "I want you always." "Then propose to me." "Soon. You're old enough to choose me regardless of what your parents want." "You're the one I'll always love." "Even though I'm an orphan from Ortso?" "Yes, Zephyr, even though you are an Ortson." She ran into the water of the lake, and he chased her, held her, and began to transform. He would make sure she remembered none of it. Zephyr waited patiently for everyone to show up to the temple. He strolled in a few minutes late and took his seat among the council. Zach began. "To begin this meeting, the Centaur are regaining their population at—" "Do you know who Cheyenne is yet, Zach?" "Zephyr!" Trillium warned. She had been preparing for this. So had Phariseph. They had raised Zephyr like their own, but told him he was orphaned. He lived on Elkstaff, but was trained by Phariseph and Trillium. He was part of the council, and when they were not around, Evan looked out over him. Until recently, when Zephyr learned that Trillium was his mother, which meant his father was— "Why did you forget my sister Cheyenne?" Zephyr asked Zach. "Zephyr, we raised you right on purpose. Don't lose it now." Trillium begged, but held him off of the secret. Zephyr pressed harder. "Mother, why isn't he supposed to remember Cheyenne?" Trillium buckled under his strength. "Because if he does, he'll find the king of HAVENBELL." He searched Evan but couldn't read him, so he used his persuasion. "Why must he not find him?" Zephyr asked Evan. "No Winsfeld may challenge the throne," Evan told him. "No Winsfeld or no Alasius." "We didn't want you to know about your father, Zephyr." "It's all right. I know now. I love Jocelyn. She will be my wife." When he used his father's gifts, everyone was helpless. He had been waiting to claim Jocelyn, especially from EZRAH. Every woman just loved EZRAH. He held out his hand and she came. Jake and Isabel sat frightened and still. "I have more questions. Anybody mind telling me who this is?" Then next to him appeared another young man. He was handsome. Everyone looked in wonder. The man looked at Evan. "I am Duran Locks, and I am your son. Zephyr is my cousin, and we are two of the only 3 Ortsons alive." "Take me to your mother," Evan demanded. "Not so fast," Duran Locks said. "Yes, not so fast," Zephyr said. He stopped Evan and turned to Zach. "Whatever you do, Zach, don't go through the Grove of Souls," Zephyr teased. "Don't you mess with him!" EZRAH stood up and came towards him. Zephyr could not hold him, so he led up on him. Zephyr backed off of the fairy tri-breed. "Father, leave!" EZRAH told Zach, and Zach quickly obeyed him. "If he finds your sister, he will leave my mother, and I can't have that. He'll never come back. He married her and is king of the fairies. I'd like to keep it that way. I also can't have him dying trying to find the king when the solution is easy. What do you know of the king of HAVENBELL anyway?" "All I know I got from Evan, a sneak attack. The real king is a Draken, and his name is Zane." Winter woke up startled. Cheyenne wrapped her wings around him and pulled him back down to her skin. He resisted and darted upward with that serious look she knew all too well. "What's wrong?" "Somebody just said my name." "We still have a king for each land. The EZRAH have no king at all. Why hasn't the king of Havenbell announced himself to us all? Why hasn't he claimed his throne above us, over us? Why didn't he bring my sister back? I've never met her, ZEPHYR questioned. Because he's very intelligent, that's why, said Trillium. Kai and Jin, where are your families? ZEPHYR inquired. Don't help him, EZRAH, Kai scolded. My feather wife and daughter live in Elkstaff, Jin commented. Kai focused. You have a drake and feather for a daughter? Curious, I've never seen one in my life. ZEPHYR easily broke through his mind. A drake and feather? EZRAH yelled. What about yours, Kai? I have none. I have no one. EZRAH lived on Fairy Island, but ZEPHYR lived on Elkstaff, and they both judged Kai as honest. Xander, tell me about your family, ZEPHYR pressed. Xander was the appointed council member, one of the only Drakens to live outside of Drake. I have a feather wife, and she and my 4 children live here in Elkstaff. Sons or daughters? Both. We must keep them away from my mother and father, Duran Locks warned. The centaur hate him. My mother is still hidden. I will help you in what way I can. We should revolt against this Draken for wiping out our race. We can only inbreed now. Therefore, we must destroy him. Then EZRAH can take the throne. I cannot kill Draken feathers, EZRAH stated. Who says? I says. For a long time, everyone was frozen. Duran Locks, ZEPHYR Elacius, Zack and EZRAH Winsfeld, and Evan were long gone by now. Nemi moved first. She came to Trillium and helped her move mentally. You know that secret you have? Well, I blocked it. Your friend Kai is very sick, and you must care for him now. Trillium came to Kai, who was as pale as he could get. She kissed his forehead and worked spells upon him. A tear fell out of Trillium's eye and fell down her friend's cheek. It's all right, Kai. You blocked ZEPHYR. You did good, and our children's children will fix this spell. We have quite a few problems now. We all warned you not to train him, Trillium. To make it worse, he can shoot as good as you, Nemi said. He can't outshoot me, and Jake is not bad either. ZEPHYR has our daughter, Trillium, Isabel shouted. ZEPHYR will never harm her. He'll harm everyone but her. How can you be so sure, Trillium? Jake attacked. Because I know Duran, and Duran loved me deeply, as evil as he might have been. He walked the grove too many times to find the scepter, and he went mad. We had to train ZEPHYR and hope his goodness stuck to his heart for the day he found out his real power. He would have found out anyway and been even more dangerous to us. At least he has some sort of control. He's gonna control us all. He has Zack and EZRAH both interested in the king when they should not be. We'll be lucky if EZRAH stops Zack from going through the grove. If they want to get the Draken, they must first take the eye. If they take the eye, the field will drop. Why didn't they take it? They cannot, neither of them. It's guarded. Only my son can take the eye, and Winsfeld and Elacius cannot. They don't know about your son. Not yet, anyway. I've never seen you this upset, Winter. It scares me. You are scared? Both of the Winsfelds are tracking me now. EZRAH can beat me, and we don't need him to rule HAVENBELL. What about the scepter? Should we hide it here in Drake? I would, but just in case they get the eye, it would not be safe here. It's safer in the sea? Yes, it has been. No one has beaten your work, Cheyenne. I must go to Aztrak and talk with them. They have all of the seeing tears. If the shields drop, take the children into the sea. Wayne worked on his project. So this is Aztrak now. Wayne worked on his project. He had many computers connected to each other. He observed the images on them. His friend Gabriel peeked up from his screens. So you're really going to leave? Yes. You're a fool. Where would you go? I like the land of Claire Anne, but I'd love to see Josephera. Nay, you just want to see a person with wings. A woman with wings. It's okay. We all do. You're going to get yourself killed. Yes, I probably will. Dinzer's son leaving Aztrak. That's a good one, Wayne. Wayne is requested. Wayne is requested. A fake machine voice filled the room. Gabriel laughed. Don't forget to take your armor, he joked. Wayne entered his father's office. Dinzer turned around and laughed at his son. Even if you beat the first set of lasers, there's no way you'd beat the next. Am I to be the only EZRAH with a dead, stupid son laying in a crop field? You wish to shame me? I wish to feel the sunlight on my skin. I wish to breathe the air. I wish to walk the lands and love a woman that's not an EZRAH. You listen, boy. We must stay here. Mixing our race with the others is impossible. No, it's not. It's possible, Father. It is forbidden. Do you know our role? I've tried to teach you everything. We work for the spirits. We watch the others, and if they get out of hand, we kill them. That is our role. Why can't we be a part of it and them? Maybe some good can come of it. It's against the rules. No good'll come of it. Giving them our technology will ruin HAVENBELL. It's already out there. That's because we trust Sire. You will not leave, and you will not love an outlander. You will rule my kingdom, and you are far from ready. Wayne returned to his work with a frown. How did that go? Gabriel asked. My father is a hard ass. Yes, he is, but he is a fine ruler. But even fine rulers are apt to make mistakes. EZRAH now sat alone at the boundaries. He was perplexed at the recent events. He brought many water blades with him this time. He knew this would be a nice quiet place to think. He had found this spot many summers ago and was very curious as to what had been so heavily guarded. He threw a blade at the boundaries. A laser shot off of it. The blade landed inside of the boundaries. He didn't throw the next one fast enough and the machine reset. He threw 5 at rapid speed and all of the lasers were deflected off of his blades, all except the 6th shot. Again. There was a trick to this beam and he intended on finding out what it was. One day he would get this right. One day he would enter this cave. His water blades littered the floor of the boundaries. He knew the sequence to deflect the first 5 beams, but he would get sliced at the 6th beam. He used his mind to pull all of them across the sand and back to him before he started over again. Somebody came to where he was, and that was strange. Stranger still was that this EZRAH had wings. Are you Cheyenne the tri-breed? He asked. Pick up your blades. EZRAH drew them. They fought a long battle with the blades, and even though there were a great many shots made, they seemed to be perfectly matched. You are good with the blade, the winged EZRAH told him, and disarmed. Yes, I know. Pick up all your blades, come with me. He followed her to land, and they both transformed. EZRAH was struck by her beauty. She had bronze skin and long black hair. She had beautiful white wings. She opened a box and pulled out clothes and redressed in front of him. She handed some to him. Here, EZRAH. Damn, he snickered. How do you know me? Do I know you? No, you won't get through those beams. There's nothing down there, understood? There's nothing down there. Who are you, lady? I have dreams about you. I'm supposed to kill you. That is who I am. Why? You're getting involved with trouble. You're chasing Drakens and the King of HAVENBELL, and I don't like it. I'm here to put a stop to you. Then do it then. You make my head hurt. Then stop trying to read me. Those dreams you had, those were real. I was nearby watching you. Watching me how? I look over you, EZRAH. I fancy you, EZRAH. You have Josepharian fairy wings. I like them. Some of the time that's a good thing. Most of the time it's not. Like now. Why would you watch over me just to kill me? I must kill you. You are a threat. I'm not emotional like you, EZRAH. It's unfortunate to you that I am like my father. Why can't I read you? I can read everyone. I'm a fairy tri-breed. I'm a drake and quad breed. My name is Autumn. I'm different too. You are lucky because my father does have emotions, and he is very merciful. He loved my mother upon sight and was fascinated, like I am to you. He claimed my mother as I will claim you. You did a very stupid thing, EZRAH Winsfeld. You forgot to stop your father from going through the grove. I forgot to fix that. Watch out for my brother. Who's your brother? Pretty much my favorite character. Actually, Winter's my favorite character. Her brother's my second favorite character. Who's your brother? He's a badass and he will kill you. Why? You are his enemy and his worst threat. He is not merciful like my father, and he doesn't love you. Stay away from my father, too. Who's he? The king of HAVENBELL. I want to meet my aunt, ZEPHYR insisted. How are we going to get back to the mountains? I'm human in Ortson. I can't change. I had to hide the whole way here. You can swim, though, right? Yes, but Duran, you have forgotten. We can make them do whatever we please, especially when we are together. Duran grinned, and he looked just like Evan. ZEPHYR took Jocelyn with them, and they made everybody do what they wanted. They reached the mountains, and Duran Locks took ZEPHYR to his mother. Okay, so I hope you understand that Duran Alesius is dead. He's gone. He's not going to come back. ZEPHYR is his son. ZEPHYR is Trillium and Duran's son. I know it's confusing. Duran Locks is Evan's son. So this Duran is not the original. This is Evan's son. And now Evan's son and Duran Alesius' son are working together, which is bad. They reached the mountains, and Duran Locks took ZEPHYR to his mother. Tell me about my father. Sasha did more than just that when she saw her brother's exact copy. She grabbed his head with both of her hands and gave ZEPHYR the whole story. ZEPHYR grinned and understood that he deserved the crown of king above Evan, the real blood-titled prince. He also understood that his sister, the Tri-Breed, took the scepter into the sea where his father could not find it, but he was ready because he was an Adrella and he could control minds. Find EZRAH. I cannot proceed without his power. I must find all of the drake and feathers. That is his weakness, and I intend to use it. Little did he know that drake and feathers were Wayne's weakness, too.